Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and Highmark Stadium is our site for USL Championship action here on this Saturday night. It's all brought to you by AHN. It's Pittsburgh Riverhounds and Philadelphia Union 2. With Devin Kerr, I'm Josh Eastern. Excited and looking forward to this Group F matchup tonight in the Eastern Conference. Well, last time out for Philadelphia, it was a good start for them. Ultimately, though, it wasn't a great finish, but 2 goals in the opening 16 minutes.
I think you really touched on it right there, Josh, is a quality start to the game. The problem was they couldn't finish it up. The good news is they are getting better every time they step onto the pitch. They're very young. They rotate a lot of players. But the good news is they've got a quality system in place. You have to understand that no matter who steps on the pitch next to you, you have to be the call to arms and just trust the process and the next time up.
The last time these two teams, Philadelphia and Pittsburgh, faced off, it was all about the Riverhounds.
Seemed like every single time you turned the corner, the Riverhounds were going the opposite direction. They have quality pace, their precision in the final third. What gets me, though, Josh, is that the 10 goals they put in the back of the net so far, every single one has an assist to copy with it. So you work from the back to front quite well. Bob Lilly has these boys well-tuned and roaring to go.
It could be a big night for Canardo Forbes, but this Pittsburgh Riverhounds side, they do not do a lot of losing in the regular season.
Lost to Indy 11, we're the better squad. Lost to Red Bull 2, we're the better squad. Got to finish in the final third. They have not been as efficient as we've seen them on the offensive side of the ball. Defensively, they're still good. They've made a couple of mistakes, right? And they've done it against themselves. Now it's time to get back to it. They have never lost 3 in a row. So history is going to have to set itself up if Union 2 want to get out of here with 3 points.
And tonight's player to watch, presented by Dunkin' Donuts, is Danny Rivera.
Really impressed by Danny Rivera and the role that he played in that loss to Indy 11. Occupied the space for Tyler Pasher. Outside of that ridiculous goal that he scored at the end of the game, he shut him down. He's versatile. Inside, outside. They can play him at the wing back, play him at the holding midfielder position. That's one of the luxuries you have as Bob Lilly, because you can tinker with a 3, 4, or 5-back system, and with a player like Danny Rivera, you don't miss a beat.
Well, Pittsburgh and Philadelphia, it's a Group F matchup tonight. A battle of Pennsylvania. Can Pittsburgh get back on the winning track, or can Philly get their first win of the year? Lineups and first kick coming up next.
How do you make safe safer? We take extraordinary measures, because at AHN, it's safety first, always.
Hey, Gus.
Hey, Nikki.
So what's the scoop?
Scoop? Who can pick just one scoop?
Well, I'd say that one's mint for me.
Sweet choice. Just like this.
The newest scratch-off from the Pennsylvania Lottery.
Yep, it's $1 million extreme cash.
Wow, with top prizes of $1 million.
You can't top that.
Well, maybe with sprinkles.
Keep on scratching.
Explore a world of music on WQED.
Explore sweater sessions on WQED.
Explore educational opportunities.
Explore science.
Explore early childhood learning.
Explore Nebby on WQED.
Explore the power of the arts.
Explore Pittsburgh Eats.
Explore diversity on WQED.
That's life. And as funny as it may seem,
and if I don't like can't hear what you're saying.
People get their kicks stomping on your dreams. Wait, you're and if I didn't think it was worth one try, I'd jump right on a big bird, and then I'd fly.
Back here at Highmark Stadium, Pittsburgh and Philadelphia tonight in Pittsburgh. A beautiful night in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Let's take a look at tonight's starting lineups. They're brought to you by Butte, Bevington, and Nichols. We will start with Bob Lilly's Pittsburgh Riverhounds.
Already touched on it a little bit, Josh, but when you look at Danny Rivera lining up at the outside left wingback position, that's going to be the key point here, because you can drop into 4. Rotate Ryan James all the way to the left. Jordan Dover drops to right back. And look what you have. You have 4 in the middle to overload, drop flat, especially against the way that Philadelphia Union 2 like to play. Dos Santos gets his first start up top. Ropapa-Mensah assumes the role as their main striker. Of course, Canaro Forbes seeking that record-breaking assist record in the USL Championship. Philadelphia Union 2, it's a little bit different, right? So a lot of young players we understand, but the shape that they tend to occupy becomes this rhombus-like look in the midfield. Kind of hard to depict on screen, but Miscic and Sullivan will lead up top. Jack McGlynn and Picasso will actually tuck themselves in to allow the likes of Dante Huckabee and Brandon Craig to get involved in the outside attack. But the 2 guys on the back line, Ofemu and Jamoy Topi, have to keep this shape consistent. Pittsburgh Riverhounds are too good, and they will eat you alive if there is too much space left open.
And remember, 2 goals in the opening 16 minutes for Philadelphia last week. Let's take a look at tonight's keys to the game, brought to you by Heineken. And here are those keys to the game, Devin Kerr.
Simple enough. Pittsburgh Riverhounds pace. This is a young team. Continue with apply the pressure, up tempo, press, keep going, and you'll have success. Success for Philadelphia Union 2 is systematic. What do I mean by that? It goes back to what we talked about in the open. It doesn't matter what 11 on the field. Sven Gartung and the YSC Academy are trying to move these guys into Philadelphia Union into the first team. They all know what their roles are to play. No matter who's next to you, it's time to go out and get your job done.
And we are underway tonight from Highmark Stadium. It's Pittsburgh, of course, in their home black and yellow, while Philadelphia Union 2 in their road whites tonight. And we'll see here how this opening stage goes. Of course, 2 late losses for Pittsburgh Riverhounds, while Philadelphia Union 2 coming off that 3-2 loss on the road at Hartford last weekend. It was a good start for them, but just couldn't shut the door there in that final, well, I guess it was 70 minutes, but they couldn't hold on for the result. Steven Dos Santos in the starting 11 tonight for Pittsburgh as well. Opportunity here down this near side. There's Miscic all the way back to Gomez. In these opening stages, what are you keeping your eye on?
On Philadelphia Union 2, just don't concede. It sounds a little bit ridiculous, but when you look at their recent results, they've fallen behind early. And then you have to play catch up the entire match. That's not something you'd want to do in general, yet alone against a team like the Riverhounds when you're at Highmark, who are on 25 out of 26 games where they've garnered at least a point. They were 25 unbeaten until Indy came in the regular season and knocked them off their perch recently. So you just have to stay relevant, find some confidence, and build going forward.
There's Canardo Forbes. It could be a special night for Forbes. He's 1 assist behind the all-time record in the USL Championship for assists. Obviously, 1 would tie him, and 2 would give him that record to himself. Probably will get that at some point this season, you'd think. It could be tonight.
That's going to be the main focal point that I'm looking at for the start of the game of the Riverhounds, Josh. He's had a bit slow start to their matches recently, taking him a bit of time to get going, and you can start at their resumption of play when you go all the way back to the game at Lou City. Not only did it take the squad 40 minutes, it took Canardo Forbes just basically gluing this team all the way to victory. Jumped all the way to the far side of the field, got out of that holding midfielder role, and once they saw that King Kenny was ready to go, everybody followed. It's kind of the same type of deal. He wears the captain's armband, but he's vocal, and most importantly, he leads by example.
And there is Tomas Gomez back in goal tonight for the Riverhounds. Coming over from St. Louis, where he spent the last 2 years. Just a switch of goalkeepers with Pittsburgh and St. Louis this year. Kyle Morton going the other way. Santos using that big frame to hold up possession and keep it for Pittsburgh. Santos again. Now for Forbes. Fulcrum of the midfield. It's poked out, and it will be a throw-in. This Philly side Sven Gartung, he said that game against Hartford was a step in the right direction. They took some positives out of it. And they're getting in a better shape, but they're losing more players to injury as well, which is not helping them. Issa Rayan, he misses out tonight. Yomi Shintu, he misses out tonight. He could be out for a little while, as it's the first corner kick of the night, brought to you by the Pennsylvania Lottery. And of course, Philadelphia Union, the first team, they have made it to the semifinals of MLS's back, so reinforcements not on the way quite yet. As the Michigan man, Robbie Mertz, stands over this corner kick. All the way to the back post. It took a nice deflection there, but Mensah put it over the bar.
Little sitter inside 6 yards, you would expect Mensah to bury. Volley on the back post, and unfortunately just lacking a little bit. You know, Josh, when you look at Union 2 and what they are capable of, we mentioned the tactical ability, quality technique as well. Ernst Tanner comes in, started 2019, revamps everything, and basically, you know, gone are the days of the 2018 squads where, you know, the then Bethlehem Steel, now Philadelphia Union 2, walk in here in a playoff game and knock the Riverhounds out.
All the way to the end line for Philadelphia, and that does deflect out. It will be the first corner kick of the night for the Union.
And where I'm going with that is you just don't have as many, we'll say, dedicated players to just this squad. You know, they had the Bethlehem Steel players, they had the Philadelphia Union 2 players. Now you're primarily looking at guys that are looking for rehab or some repetitions coming from Philadelphia Union, or you're getting the YSC Academy players. They're trying to gain experience and really work them into this system.
It'll be Jack McGlynn to stand over this corner kick. He played last week against his brother, Connor, for Hartford, and actually it was Connor who got a yellow card for fouling Jack. And the camera panned over to Connor, and it's just a little smirk on his face, fouling his brother and getting in the book. I'm sure the McGlynn brothers will talk about that one for a little while. Is that an ice cream truck?
I'm hungry, I don't care what the noise is. It's Pavlov's dog over here. Conditioned response.
Such a great setting here at Highmark Stadium, right on the river. Downtown in the background. Pittsburgh tonight, 3 points would take them top of the group, albeit Hartford does play tomorrow. Goal differential is definitely in Pittsburgh's favor right now after that 6-0 win over this Philadelphia side. Of course, the top two teams will make it out of the group stage into the playoffs come October. Looks like a few fans just outside the gates here at Highmark Stadium trying to get a glimpse in person of the Riverhounds tonight.
A little bit of the Steel Army hanging around. Always nice to see him.
Forbes tried to get away with that one. It will be a foul before he could do so. 7 minutes gone. And for Pittsburgh, boy, these last two games just so frustrating. The way that they have lost those games, a penalty in stoppage time, and I guess that goal for Tyler Patcher, it's hard to really do anything about that, but just tough results as of late for Pittsburgh. A chance for them to get back on the right track tonight. McGlynn. This might break for Picasso. It looks like they'll bring this one back. It will be a free kick in the direction of Philadelphia.
It's a great decision by our crew here. They're trying to play advantage and see if the counter is going to be on for Union 2 the other direction. Good little step by Axel Picasso. A bit short on the effort. There is the challenge, and they bring it back, let the boys play again. That's one thing you'll notice about all the players in these beautiful white kits of Philadelphia Union 2. In terms of individual confidence, they don't lack it. They do not care that this is a basically Hall of Fame coach in Bob Lilly, future anyway, standing on the sideline, a team that only 11 regular season losses over the past 3 seasons under his tenure. None of that matters to them. They know that they're here to do a job, and they will toe the line with the best of them.
And something interesting when you look at this Pittsburgh side, it's a lot of players that know Bob Lilly well, whether that be here with Pittsburgh for a couple of years or with Rochester before. But that familiarity and that continuity just seems to be there, where it isn't in a lot of places across the league, maybe aside from Lou City. Papa Mensah. Gonna switch the play for Dover. Dover gets by Picasso. Forbes trying to flick that along for Dos Santos. Might have taken a deflection. It goes out regardless for a corner kick.
Rich Butler gets a foot on this on the near post as well. Really difficult angle here for Steven Dos Santos to get all the way back around it when your hips are closed off. Little 1v1 action with Jordan Dover, and the Riverhounds are asking a lot out of their outside backs based upon the way that their shape is taking. Just notice a little drip. Rabadon's got to be real careful when he drops back down into the midfield and helps out that back line.
Some big targets for Robbie Mertz to aim at in that box for the Riverhounds. Towards the back post again. Just a little too tall. Forbes will track it down. Dover distributes wide left. The offside flag will go up on Thomas Van Yazeel. Well, is Mitch Butler in goal tonight? It's been kind of a rotation in between the pipes for Philadelphia Union 2. Ben Martino played last week. He is on the bench tonight. Just a 6-man bench for Philadelphia Union 2. Thomas. Here's Dover. Van Yazeel. This might be opening up here for Pittsburgh. Mertz making the run through the middle. Mertz tried to get on the end of that loose ball. Forbes tried to tee it up, gets blocked down. Mertz, was he in an offside position? No, yes, he was. Flag goes up. Let's take a look at tonight's injury report, brought to you by K&L Gates. No injuries for Pittsburgh, and on the other side for Philadelphia, the list's just a little bit too long.
Walking wounded, Schneider Borgelin, Sarayan, Nathan Harrio, Yomi Shintu, Zach Sandy. I mean, Taid Diaz. You buy a vowel?
No.
But how impressive is it, by the way, and I understand that they're quite young, how impressive is it by this organization that you have that many impactful players that could easily be starting for this team, and yet all these young men can step in and be able to still do a similar job? It's a true testament to what they're trying to build and continue the progress. YSC Academy, one of the first ones to really start to push this in the right direction outside of the Seattle Sounders and of course FC Dallas. Everybody trying to follow suit now and reinventing themselves of sorts. We mentioned when Ernst Tanner came in, totally different playing style in terms of formation midfield, but you are seeing success reap its rewards. Matt Trusty in there, of course Brendan Aronson comes to mind.
So Santos kept himself on side. Before Butler could get there, it was Ofemu to knock it out. And you're seeing that pipeline right to the first team. Brendan Aronson, like you said, Mark McKenzie as well. The pipeline is there. And there's opportunity for all of these players to do something very similar. It's Mertz again. Another outswinger towards the back post. Butler got a hand on it. Pittsburgh will keep it in. Here's Forbes. They'll keep it in along that end line. Oh, they won't. They'll go out for a goal kick. Almost a really good ball there by Kennardo Forbes. Just a little bit too heavy. Something we saw last week with Philadelphia, try to just get it and go. That's how they scored their second goal. First goal came on a mistake. Yomi Shintu intercepted a pass between a couple of center backs of Hartford, able to slot it by Mandanda in goal. And the second one was Flores. Oh, and they do not need this. Philadelphia, it's Topi who's down.
They don't need another injury in general, yet alone on the defensive side of the ball. You look down the bench, that's basically Jack Jasinski who's going to step right in. You don't have a lot of options. And with Jamaican Jamoy Topi paired alongside Ben Ofemu, those are your twin towers who, when you look at what's on the field right now, they've got the most experience. And that's great to have in your pairing on the center back line. More frustration for Sven Gartung as say lackluster start to the season continues, and the injuries just continue to pile up.
Topi, one of the older players in the lineup tonight at 20 years old. Last time these two teams played, the average age of the squad for Philadelphia was 19.1. Zandy was the oldest at 24 years old. Just shows you the youth of this side, and that's Anton Sorensen, who's potentially getting himself ready to come on should Topi not be able to continue.
He actually got called into the full senior squad for the Jamaican men's national team at Gold Cup in 2019. Gives you an idea of what Union 2 are working with on that back line.
Looks like he's coming back on, so should be good to continue for Topi. McGlynn. It's a dangerous back pass. Topi in a tough position. Now they find some room. Flores gets it wide. Sullivan couldn't keep it.
You can see the ideas though, right? They're playing a little bit now. Ball in the deck, hang side to side. Delicious touch by Quinn Sullivan. They're just one little positive touch in the right direction, and you're in behind that talented back line of the Riverhounds. Just watch the rate of play sometimes when it cycles in and out. You're seeing a lot of possession for Pittsburgh, but when they put this ball down on the deck, Union 2, they're not afraid to knock it around. And you're seeing some of the direction a second ago. Topi coming back on. He was asking for the long run by Picasso to stretch it. But that did open up the space in the middle. Even though it was a bad ball, he sprays it out wide, and they go again.
Well, that's something Sven Gartung has talked about. He wants those short, quick passes. Obviously easier said than done, but it's part of that process they're trying to instill in these young players. A heavy challenge coming in, and this will be a free kick. Pittsburgh trying to go quickly. It was Topi who committed the foul. I think Pittsburgh now will slow things down.
Well, here's the most interesting part for me right now, Josh. Where the referee drew the line, that's actually where the foul occurred.
Fouled, yeah,
they're about 10 yards behind this. I thought Kennardo Forbes was holding up because he knew he was going to get a shooting opportunity.
Stood up towards the back post. Santos trying to flick it along. Mertz. It's around the corner, and it looks like it goes out for a goal kick. Mertz, the local kid. Upper St. Clair High School, came up in Riverhounds Development Academy. Pretty cool for him to be playing for the Riverhounds after spending some time at Michigan. Second season here with the Riverhounds. A lot of room to work there on the left. Vera, we couldn't quite keep it in. Only trying to go quickly. There's a foul right in the middle. Long diagonal ball, looking for Mensah. Some target strikers up top tonight for Pittsburgh. There's Mensah, he keeps possession, lays it off for Mertz. Now Dover.
Look at all the movement. Absolutely brilliant by the Riverhounds right now. That's your center back stepping into the midfield, trying to move the ball up through the pitch. Stepping into the secondary level. Now you look at your captain, forgot something.
Right through the legs.
King Kenny doing what he does. There's just such great rotation by this team. Everybody knows, kind of like we talked about for the formation and system that's in place for Union too. Same thing for the Riverhounds, except they're just more than willing to step into anybody else's position, and they know the cover's going to be there.
Flores trying to keep running, but tonight's referee, Kevin Fikar, will bring that one back. Looked like a handball. It's Flores who had the assist on the second goal after coming on for Yomi Shintu after he was forced out due to injury.
Nice little step over by our referee.
Room opening up for Pittsburgh. Beautiful through ball, Forbes to the back post. And that is the record-tying assist for Kenardo Forbes. It's Steven Dos Santos who gets on the end of it. It's Pittsburgh 1, it's Philadelphia 0.
Ask and you shall receive, Josh. Kenardo Forbes, right on cue. Beautifully played ball to the back post, but it's the distribution coming out of the midfield that sets this entire thing up. Watch this ball that gets down into the corner. That just breaks every single line for Union 2. Little turnover in the middle of the field, and we go. Quick with pace. Look at this. Absolutely brilliant. All the way down to the byline. Kenardo Forbes just puts it on a platter. And watch the vision. He knows the back post run is going to be there. He's just got to weight this oh so appropriately. He's actually got two runners, and Mensah on the back post as well. All he needed was one. Dos Santos in the back of the net. And how about Kenardo Forbes? Gets his 37th and ties Michael Chang for the USL Championship all-time assist record.
Well, we knew there was a chance that some records could come down tonight. One more, and it's his alone. At least for now, he stands tied for first with Chang. For Steven Dos Santos, goal number 3 on the season. Pittsburgh very successful when Dos Santos gets on the score sheet. They've never lost, they've never tied, they've won all 11 previous matches. And Dos Santos has scored and trying to move that to 12-0-0 tonight. And Azil back for Gomez. We'll see how that goal changes things. Of course, Pittsburgh, they're not going to take their foot off the gas. Here's Mertz. Rovira going to stand this one up towards the back post again. Flex off Dover and out for a throw-in.
It's real close to being a mirror image of the goal we just saw a couple minutes ago. Little turnover in the middle, ball to the far side. Quick little flick to the back post. That's for Mensah to run onto it. Just watch the shape of the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Josh, as they start to move from back to front, it's really quite impressive. They have gone into the 4, as we said they might. Ryan James occupying the left back position. Van Azil, one of their center backs next to Skylar Thomas, is more than willing to step up into the middle and help become a distributing force going forward. And then the rest of the guys, they're basically counteracting their offensive shape against the defensive looks for Philadelphia Union too. So Danny Rivera, Eddie Griffin are stepping inside. That's allowing James and Dover to get involved. But when they tuck themselves in, you're also getting Forbes and Mertz venturing out a little bit. Mensah and Dos Santos doing the same. So you've got a rotation of about 6 or 7 guys all trying to occupy similar space as Mertz drops in. But then it's the over-rotation. And just watch all the yellow shirts work when they're on the ball. Truly impressive.
This one played back for Gomez. Dover getting himself into the attack again. Wingbacks have been very active so far in the opening 25 minutes.
But there's the pinch, right? Danny Griffin comes in, Mensah drops back off, overlapping run by Dover. Griffin now occupies the striking position up top. Bob Lilly finds these diamonds in the rough, and I don't mean that in the sense of their playing ability. I mean it in the sense of their soccer IQ. They truly get this poetry in motion type movement that he's trying to implement into his squads each and every year. And he says, you know, you have to reinvent yourself. You have to find a way to stay fresh. Always seems to be able to accomplish that.
We talked about that continuity, but he says the application and the growth still has to happen, but having those experienced players helps those newer players into the side and gets them up to speed of what exactly Bob Lilly asks of his players. Forbes for Dover. Hydration break coming up soon. It's been used pretty much as a timeout all around the league, all across the world, as we've seen those hydration breaks introduced. Philadelphia just trying to hang in there. That opening goal coming for Pittsburgh, and it might be opening up here for Robbie Mertz. Back for Dover. It was a heavy touch, and he couldn't keep possession. Pittsburgh will still regain it at the back. Here's Forbes for Mertz. Griffin keeps it moving. They do lose possession. Seal stepping in to win that back for Pittsburgh. I've seen that a few times, him stepping up, a bit of a higher line into that midfield to win the ball back.
It's allowing space for your other midfielders and the boys up top to try and take advantage as well. It really challenges the midfield block of Philadelphia Union too. Axel Picasso, Jack McGlynn have to tuck themselves in when you get that step, or then you're asking the likes of Danny Flores and Rabadon to come even further up, which means space then comes in behind. That's why you're seeing success out of Mensah and Dos Santos dropping in, allowing the hold-up play. And when they are broken down, it's that much more difficult to then turn and go the other direction. You see that when the white jerseys are picking up possession, Josh, they're finding it real difficult to find link-up play because everybody's pulled out of their spots.
Try to keep that running. Dover comes away with it. Some space opening up. Griffin on the turn. Back for Forbes. Forbes loses possession and then immediately wins it right back, using that physicality to his advantage. It's been a lot of chasing for Philadelphia Union 2 so far in the opening half hour. Looks like we'll get that hydration break. Well, for Pittsburgh as of late, it's been tough going here in the past two matches, a couple of late losses. And tonight, it's been a good start for them through that man, Steven Dos Santos, the assist to Canardo Forbes. It's his 6th assist of the season. But Bob Lilly has been talking about this team just trying to get back on track. Tonight, an opportunity to do so. We spoke with Bob Lilly this week, and obviously the season isn't that long, but at a certain point you need to start getting results.
The good news is this is one of those intergroup games, right, where those 6-point swings we talk about, and with all due respect to Philadelphia Union 2, the way that this group has gone so far, it doesn't look like they're going to be able to challenge for one of those top 2 spots. Anything can happen. Mathematics says that they're still alive, but if you're a Pittsburgh Riverhounds player, you've got to get back to business, and immediately against Union 2. I like the fact they go out and get the goal. Got to get 3 points here, because these are the games, once you finish, you turn the corner, you got to deal with Red Bull 2, you got to deal with Indy 11, and then on the road at Loudoun. So those are the type of games that you got to be a little bit more weary of. These are, you want to say, guaranteed type finishes that you need to get 3 points. And when you're clinical as Steven Dos Santos, why not? Canardo Forbes feeling himself. Robbie Mertz, by the way, has not given a single ball away tonight. I'm counting. 12 for 12, all over the pitch. Astonishing movement, dropping back in. Canardo Forbes and he make a nice pairing together, and I love that when he drops one way, that allows King Kenny to step in. Canardo Forbes drops it down in the corner, puts it back up over the top. Steven Dos Santos finishes it off.
Pretty routine header for Dos Santos in the end, and when Forbes is dishing out those assists like he is, he's making it pretty easy on his fellow teammates. Look at Mitch Butler, the Lincoln, Nebraska native. It's his second appearance here in 2020. And all these group stage matches, pretty much 6-pointers. I just wonder when Philadelphia Union 2 have the tides turn in their favor. Here's Forbes again. It's the top of the box for Mertz. Ahead for Griffin. Mertz will get it right back. This is right for Butler. Hold it for a moment. Flores for Picasso. Oh, that was a good move there by Philly. Just the final ball wasn't quite there. Pittsburgh will now win this back. Philly Union fan, you have to like that movement going forward. It just didn't quite work out in the end. I'm sure Sven Gartung would like to see more of that moving forward. There's a push in the back, but the referee said all ball, and play continues. And Kayazil distributes wide. Over the top, Dos Santos trying to chase his Butler way off his line, clashes into Dos Santos, and the referee points for a corner kick. Risky move there by the young goalkeeper.
Just keep an eye here on Dos Santos, who's a bit, there you go, I was going to say a bit slow to get up. Nice to see him moving in. He was coming back from an injury to start this season, which prohibited him from getting all the minutes and led to his first start tonight. It's a bit
close.
risky by your goalkeeper coming offline. Gets the touch. Very, very lucky. Looks great now, right?
Of course. Forbes swinging this in towards the back post, and it's in! There's a new assist king in the USL Championship, and his name is Kenardo Forbes. Then Kayazil gets the goal. It's 2-0 to Pittsburgh.
And it's the vision, the open field play by Kenardo Forbes the first time around. This time, you go from a set piece, hoping that he'd get the opportunity to strike one from distance earlier, but he is unselfish, King Kenny. Sometimes you just got to put the ball up and allow someone to go make a play on it. Nice little whip all the way to the backside. Have to question what's going on as Jamoy Topi just standing, one of your big center backs. Watch him flat-footed, doesn't challenge the ball. The backside of McGlynn there as well, coming off the post. Nobody goes after it. Easy pickings for Van Kayazil.
That was first goal of the season. And Kenardo Forbes, now the assist king. 37 all-time assists in the USL Championship. We knew it was coming, and he now has 7 assists already this season. An impressive mark from the Kingston, Jamaica native. So 2-0 to Pittsburgh. Both the goals coming on headers. There are some big targets for this Pittsburgh side in the attack, and it's been tough for Philly through the air so far. It's over. Santos will keep this in play in the corner. Looks like a handball in the end. We'll send it back to Philadelphia. Since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. Select is the official ball supplier of the USL Championship and many of the elite leagues throughout Europe. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit SelectSportAmerica.com. Picasso, a big collision there at the end after he lost possession. The referee goes to his pocket. Looks like he was just a little bit out of control, and I think that yellow card will go to Picasso.
Quality recognition by Ryan James, coming all the way over from the far side of the field, understanding that needed a bit of weak side help. Watch. Great little cut in behind. Axel Picasso. Skylar Thomas, caught out of his element. Kenardo Forbes, shockingly, doesn't catch that change of pace in the opposite direction by Picasso. He's a lightning rod on that left side and more than willing to take anybody on in a 1v1 situation. This time he caught the wrong end of the stick in a 3v1.
Pittsburgh quickly back the other way. Always content to pass it around. Brandon Craig will let this run out for another throw-in. The last time these two teams faced off, it was a 6-0 win for the Riverhounds at Subaru Park in Chester. Tomas Gomez, we haven't said his name a whole lot tonight. He has not been tested. These two center backs for Pittsburgh look very, very comfortable in their element tonight. Santos gets brought down, a free kick. There's Mertz. That back post area again, Dos Santos, and it's flicked up out for a throw-in. 5 minutes to go plus stoppage time until halftime. It's been a pretty straightforward first half for this Pittsburgh side. 2 goals, 2 Canardo Forbes assists. Benkazil and Dos Santos the goal scorers. Sven Gartung, how do you get this Philly Union side back in?
You got to start having conversations with your midfield and discuss all these overlapping runs and miscommunication like that. Watch out.
Dos Santos, yes, it's 3. A complete mishap at the back, and Pittsburgh makes them pay. 3-0 the Riverhounds.
With all due respect to the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, it's these silly little mistakes right now that are really costing Philadelphia Union 2. Beautifully whipped ball in by Canardo Forbes on the second goal, but there was a lot of standing around on the back post, which enabled Benkazil to tuck it away. Same dissecting ball in the first one. This time, watch this. Little track back, Jamoy Topi. It's got to be a touch. If your goalkeeper calls for it, you got to step up here. You can't hear what Mitch Butler says to his center back, but the way that he plays it off makes it sound like he's coming. If you've called for it, you have to come, and you have to be commanding in your presence. Knock this ball out and go the other way. Instead, the mistake costs you big time.
Dos Santos a brace. Now has 4 goals on the season. And Sven Gartung, before the Hartford game, he talked to us about how his team helps opponents score goals, and they need to stop doing that. Well, that was the opposite of what he wants. Just a complete giveaway at the back. Dos Santos makes them pay. Cross coming in towards that near post again. Dos Santos now sitting on a hat trick. And you look onto this bench for Philadelphia, it only gets younger. Free kick that Pittsburgh takes quick. Dover on this turn. Oh, beautiful spin. He's going to keep going, and he's finally cut off. It was almost brilliant from Jordan Dover. Mischich, he goes down. Here's Picasso, cutting in field, trying to get something started for this Union attack. Thomas heads it away. Rabadon. Here's Huckabee, trying to play it through the lines. It's cut off and cleared away as far as McGlynn. Here they go again. McGlynn gets it back. He goes down in the box. The referee waves it away. Mensa trying to get this on the other end of it, the other way. We're into 4 minutes of stoppage time at the end of this first 45 minutes. It's a 45 minutes that has belonged to the home side. Sven Gartung said this would be another huge challenge coming in tonight against this Pittsburgh side. Second half, it's going to be very difficult for Philadelphia to get back in this game. Also to make it look respectable on the score sheet. Gartung talked about the organization and the experience of this Pittsburgh side. It's really coming to light tonight.
Just try and get in the dressing room right now, Josh. Get to halftime, stop the bleeding, if you will. Have a conversation to reinstill some positive thoughts with your youngsters. Yeah, you've gone down, and it's going to be a rough uphill battle the second 45 minutes. But you have to find a way to make sure that they're not mentally defeated, as well as what's going on the scoreboard. And that's something you have to be careful of, because it's real easy as a young player to let that confidence just get swept out from underneath you when you have performances like this, where, no, it hasn't been the greatest, but to be fair, they've gotten themselves in trouble a lot. The Riverhounds are creating, but the mistakes have proved quite costly for Union 2.
Here's Forbes playing it wide into that left back position, and this cross nowhere near anybody in the box, out for a goal kick. Something on here for Philadelphia. Mischich. The minute he turns around and yellow shirts get back, it makes it very difficult for Philadelphia.
Just watch the options, though, as well, Josh. That's a hospital ball at best that you just played out of Dante Huckabee. When the ball comes over, your immediate reaction, based upon the way that the space is closed down, has got to be a ball off your head, back to Jamoy Topi, and then you can start to ask questions of the opposition. Get your midfielders involved. You can look the other direction again, or just simply play back to Dante Huckabee. Instead, you knock one right up over the top, and it's an impossible ask from one of your attackers who's got his back to goal and 3 Riverhounds players stepping in on him.
No offense to Jack McGlynn, but he's not going to win an aerial ball against Skylar Thomas.
No. Not in that situation.
No.
Against the grain, out in front of goal, turned around. It can happen. Stranger things have taken place in the USL Championship, right?
Well, they sure have.
There you go.
It's been pretty much one-way traffic to our right so far. All Pittsburgh. I'm sure if you're Bob Lilly, you have the goals. With that 0 in Philadelphia's column, he probably wants that to stay there.
That's the biggest move. If you ever get an opportunity to pick his brain, he would rather win 1-0 than 7-1. Because that one little blemish is going to cause him so much frustration. That will be the conversation at halftime. He's going to say, guys, listen, that's great that we've got 3 in the back of the net. Do not concede, because Sven Garten is going to talk to these hungry youngsters and find a way to get them back on track come the second 45 minutes.
Well, pretty much everything is gone Pittsburgh's way. 2 goals for Dos Santos, 2 assists for Kennardo Forbes. He is now the assist king in the USL Championship. We've hit halftime here at Highmark Stadium. It's been all Riverhounds. It's Pittsburgh 3 and it's Philadelphia 0. Well, Pittsburgh, they look like they are on their way back to the top of Group F. 3 points would do that based on goal differential. But there are still 45 minutes left for Philadelphia to figure things out. It's Pittsburgh 3, it's Philadelphia 0.
Pleasant Valley Golf Club, nestled in the Laurel Highlands of southwestern Pennsylvania, is now open to the public. Enjoy 18 holes of championship golf with a new island green and fully stocked pro shop. Our clubhouse features a large ballroom for weddings or private parties, 2 restaurants serving delicious food, a sports bar, 2 state-of-the-art golf simulators, and an outdoor patio with gas fire pit and picturesque view. Pleasant Valley Golf Club, now open to the public.
Oh, that's cute. That's so cute. She's gonna have some nice big cheeks. Yeah.
Healthy is happening right now at AHN. Call 412 Doctors to schedule an appointment.
His is the oldest registered distillery in the United States. From a place where the water is cool, clean, and iron-free. Perfect for making Tennessee whiskey. Charcoal mellowed drop by drop for smooth sipping. Which is not the easy way. But it's his way.
Hey, Gus.
Hey, Nikki.
So what's the scoop?
Scoop? Who can pick just one scoop?
Well, I'd say that one's mint for me.
Sweet choice. Just like this.
The newest scratch-off from the Pennsylvania Lottery.
Yep. It's $1 million extreme cash.
Wow, with top prizes of $1 million.
You can't top that.
Well, maybe with sprinkles.
Keep on scratching.
It is halftime here at Highmark Stadium. 3-0 to Pittsburgh over Philadelphia Union 2. Well, it's a full Saturday of USL Championship action, but during the midweek, some intriguing results that we will take a look at. And that Indy 11 match against Hartford. Indy 11's causing some havoc to this Group F a little bit, taking down Hartford as well as Pittsburgh, but that Loose City result, I think, stands out on the page the most.
People are frustrated by what's going on in Titletown. I wouldn't be overly concerned because the performances are there. They just can't finish, to be honest. Haven't been able to close out in the final third. That's a good result from the Tampa Bay Rowdies at home. Neither team looked very good, though. So you get 3 points. I'm still wondering, by the way, will the real Miami FC please stand up? They have a massive amount of talent on their roster and still have not figured a way to get it together. The good news, they just started. They got 14 more games. Their first game of the season in resumption, July 29th. They'll be fine.
It was late, and here is the team of the week. He's led by Evan Sandoval there, Tumi Moshabani, but Derry Korf, he scored that penalty against Pittsburgh, and I'm sure Pittsburgh Riverhounds fans do not want to see him as player of the week, but there he is. A lot of good results last week for all of these players. Rob Kiernan was a rock in defense for Orange County against Phoenix. Well, it's 3-0 Pittsburgh here at halftime.
A critical player development strategy within the USL Academy League model is player promotion through each player registration status. Through this process, top young talent will continually be challenged by playing up with older players, and the best players will eventually integrate into the USL senior team environment. Player promotion begins through the talent identification process, where top U15 through U19 players from the youth network will be evaluated under the philosophy that if you're good enough, you're old enough. Once a player excels in the USL Academy League, they will be given the opportunity to integrate into a senior team environment. As they assimilate and meet senior team standards, USL Championship and League One clubs will be able to offer the most talented players professional or amateur contracts with their senior team. This mechanism is especially key, as it provides the players ready to go pro with a direct path to do so. Clubs in League Two will use their senior team to provide their top young talents experience with college-age players during the summer. Players signing amateur contracts at any of these levels are provided the chance to experience the senior team level of play at a young age, while still maintaining their college eligibility. By pushing more top young players across the US into professional environments, the USL will play a key role in improving the overall level of the elite American player, ultimately helping us reach, if not exceed, our potential as a soccer nation at the international level. For more information, visit usl-academy.com.
The United Soccer League and its 47th championship and League One clubs stand united in support of diversity, inclusivity, equality, and compassion. Together, we can make a difference. Together, we can create change. Together, we are united against racism.
How do you make safe safer? We take extraordinary measures because at AHN, it's safety first, always.
Back here at Highmark Stadium, it's halftime between Pittsburgh and Philadelphia, and it's been all Riverhounds in that first half. Well, around the league, it's been a pretty busy week. We're in full swing to this USL Championship season. Some news and notes from around the USL Championship. It's going to be very interesting coming down the stretch. It's halftime, the second half, coming up soon here from Highmark Stadium.
His is the oldest registered distillery in the United States. From a place where the water is cool, clean, and iron-free. Perfect for making Tennessee whiskey. Charcoal mellowed drop by drop for smooth sipping. Which is not the easy way. But it's his way.
Pleasant Valley Golf Club, nestled in the Laurel Highlands of southwestern Pennsylvania, is now open to the public. Enjoy 18 holes of championship golf with a new island green and fully stocked pro shop. Our clubhouse features a large ballroom for weddings or private parties, 2 restaurants serving delicious food, a sports bar, 2 state-of-the-art golf simulators, and an outdoor patio with gas fire pit and picturesque view. Pleasant Valley Golf Club, now open to the public.
That's so cute. She's gonna have some nice big cheeks. Yeah.
Healthy is happening right now at AHN. Call 412 Doctors to schedule an appointment.
Just about set for the second half here from Highmark Stadium. Pittsburgh 3, Philadelphia 0. It's all Riverhounds so far tonight. Let's take a look. First half highlights brought to you by the Pennsylvania Lottery, K&L Gates, and it's pretty much as we expected here. A lot of stuff on the left.
Watch it keep coming too. And that possession might slide a little bit, as we talked about a little bit during the first half, Josh. They're going to want to maintain the 0 on that back line for the Riverhounds. They'll let Union 2 play a little bit more, but always focused on the end goal of keeping a clean sheet.
Everything in favor of Pittsburgh so far tonight. Let's take a look at the upcoming schedule, brought to you by Jack Daniels. And there are a lot of tasty fixtures moving forward. Tomorrow, Hartford and Loudoun, more Group F action. And then in the midweek, it's a pretty busy slate, including one game out west, Portland and Tacoma, a little battle there. But Birmingham Legion, they've been fun to watch, and I heard you've talked to Bruno Lapa lately.
He was a fun one, pick his brain a little bit, and I'm really impressed by what Tom Stone's been able to do there so far. Still trying to figure out what St. Louis FC is. Sporting Kansas City 2 will be an interesting test. A lot of firepower behind the youngsters, and St. Louis FC, they've had some results, but I have still not seen a full finished product from them. I think Steve Tritcher was really trying to get that club back on track.
And that's a big one against SKC too, because they're battling right now. You'd probably think Indy's going to run away with that group, but them and Louisville for that second spot. One of those two teams is missing the playoffs, and St. Louis probably doesn't want to be on the outside looking in for a second straight year. It looks like we're going to get some halftime substitutions for Philadelphia. It looks like Jack Jasinski along with Paxton Aronson are coming on. So Jamoy Toby will be one of the players replaced. Remember, he was banged up there in the first half, came off for a moment, but finished the half. And there is Paxton Aronson. If that name sounds familiar, it's because it is. His brother is Brendan Aronson, who has really been fantastic for the first team so far this year. It looks like Brandon Craig is the other player to come out. Looks like Anton Sorensen is the other one to come on. So 3 subs used, but of course none of those occupy one of those substitution windows, which you only have 3 windows to sub. And of course 5 substitutions as we get this second half underway. We'll see what this second half brings. It's been all Pittsburgh so far tonight. Dos Santos is sitting on a hat trick, so that's something to watch for here in this second half. And we'll see if Philadelphia can mount what would probably be a pretty extraordinary comeback here in the second half.
I'm not exactly sure I'd be running to Vegas right now to drop something on this in terms of the comeback, but
there's always a chance, Devin.
They always say in poker, chip in a chair, clock, ball, give it some time.
Sure.
As we mentioned, stranger things have happened.
As we also said in the first half, Bob Lilly will be begging and pleading his side to keep that 0 in Philadelphia's side of the score sheet.
You'll see them start to go side to side a lot more. In the first half, they were willing to stretch the game vertically, a lot more interchange. The tempo will be up for the next 10 minutes or so, and then watch them just tailor the expectations of what they're looking to go forward a bit less. You pull back the throttle a little bit, give a bit of belief to your opposition, and just sit back, put it in cruise control, get out of here unblemished. At least that's the goal.
Here comes Philadelphia into the attack. Shot deflected, and this will trickle out for a corner kick. Selmir Miscic, one of the candidates to take this, and now it's Wilmer Flores coming over.
These are the easy spots to switch off, Josh. If you're a Pittsburgh Riverhounds player, check your marks, know exactly where the zonal marking is going to be in this upcoming corner knocked in. Do not give up anything, especially inside 5 minutes.
Danny Flores whips that in, headed back across. Well, it's set up quite nicely there for the Union. Just not able to find that finishing product. It was Ofemu who got on the end of it. Rabadon plays it wide. Immediate giveaway. Looks like a sub readying for Pittsburgh. At the next stoppage in play. Ball goes out, and it looks like we'll get that substitution now. It'll be Anthony Velarde to come on, well, at least in a moment.
Wave off.
Scratch that.
Yeah, till touch and go on the runway.
Hold that thought for a moment as we will continue play. Papa Mensah. Anton Sorensen to clear that away. The Ann Arbor, Michigan native joined the Union Academy last year. Spent some time with the United States under-16 side as well in the tournament over in Italy. Looked like Mensah was in an offside position. Played over the top. Gomez coming off his line. Philly trying to go quickly here. McGlynn gets it back in play. Flicked along for Picasso. Rugby scrum for that loose ball. McGlynn comes away with it. Now Rabadon. Cutting in field, Sorensen going for goal. Again, it's pushed aside by Gomez. Well, there's some life for Philadelphia here in the second half. Rabadon. Seems to be a little bit more life here to Philadelphia at the start of this second half. McGlynn looks upfield again. It was Sorensen who was cut off, and he will earn a free kick. Let's go back and look at that save just a moment ago from Gomez. Well done.
Kyle Morton was the mainstay last year, and you wonder, okay, he takes off. Now who's going to step in? Well, enter one of Bob Lilly's proteges from the past, Tomas Gomez, Golden Glove winner in his time with the Rochester Rhinos prior to going to St. Louis FC. And that's what you get out of a great goalkeeper in Tomas Gomez. Not seeing a lot of action tonight, but when called upon, makes a world-class save.
We haven't said his name much as this one's whipped in. And on a hop, Gomez takes it. He'll slow things down. Pence's in the middle, flicked along. There's a big interception there on that cross. And this one skips out for a corner kick for Pittsburgh. Who else but Canardo Forbes to swing this one in?
39 sounds nice. Tee it up. Add to the record.
The near post and right back where it came from, but out for a throw-in this time. And it looks like now we're ready to make that sub. Papa Mensah will be replaced. It's Anthony Velarde to come on. 2 goals so far for him on the season. And the Californian will come on for the Ghanaian.
One of the luxuries you have now, if you're Bob Lilly, as you're turning the page on what is 5 games in the span of 18 days. Not an easy one. You're going to get a week's rest after this until New York Red Bull 2 come to town again next Saturday. But a chance to get some squad rotation in. Continue to allow everybody to pile up some minutes, stay fit. Keep their confidence up as well.
Yeah, Bob Lilly said they used a lot of gas in that Indy 11 game, really trying to get 3 points out of it. Instead, they end with nothing, and then maybe just not enough left in the tank late in the match against New York Red Bulls 2. Conceding that late penalty, and all of a sudden, after those 2 matches, you have no points to show for it. So tonight was a big match to at least try to get back on the winning track, and so far so good. But here comes Philadelphia again. Flores plays it wide, the shot coming, and just high. It's been more positive here in this second half, though, for Philadelphia.
They're growing into this, but just keep an eye as to all of that rotation we talked about, almost glorifying the Riverhounds in the first half. It's gone null and void here in the second. Everybody flat-footed, nobody stepping to win a ball right in front of them. That's what Tomas Gomez is asking for as well here. There's space in front. You're more than welcome, Van Kizio, Skylar Thomas. Just in your viewpoint a second ago, step in, lay into a tackle, and go after this team a little bit. Instead, Union 2 enjoying a nice little spell of possession here.
Jasinski going quick. Oh, a big collision. That was Ryan James who hit the turf hard. He gets back onto his feet, but like a pretty tough challenge there.
Ooh, the elbow leaning right in. Watch out. Jack Jasinski overextends the arm. Ryan James gets his bell rung for sure. Just keep an eye on him. Watch the protocol they put into place. They've got him on the sideline right here. Little nod of approval. They're walking him through the proper protocols as we speak.
That's something you wonder if you'll see in the future, is that injury substitution, whether that be for a head injury to try to go through the correct protocols, put somebody on for a few moments before you can make a decision of whether you want to take that player off for good. It's something to consider after a bash to the head. Forbes for Dover. James has come back on. Floated in again. Flag up on the far side. Dos Santos was in an offside position. Philly trying to go quickly, but not in the right position.
Where my mind goes in that thought process, Josh, is, and I'm all for that sub, by the way. Taylor Twellman, a big advocate of, I think Taylor and his foundation and what they've been able to do in terms of research. And I think it's something they need to seriously consider, whether it be IFAB and medical panels. The question that I have, though, is that where's the cutoff for it? Meaning, if one player goes down with a head injury and you allow the sub, what's not to say a second or a third, and then teams start to take advantage of it when maybe it's not necessary. You follow?
Yep. Played towards the back post, a little bit too strong here for Griffin, who was charging in.
The next thing you know, you turn the page. You've exhausted all of your normal subs. Normal, whatever that is in 2020. Let's say we
that's
go
3 or 5.
Yeah, exactly. Let's say you've exhausted normal subs. There's 10 minutes in a match. You want to get a man onto the pitch, and you tell one of your players to go down with a head injury. People at home are probably going, well, that's never going to happen. Trust me. Things like that happen.
A lot of things to consider, especially with that rule, but I think the idea can be massaged a little bit, if you will.
Well said. And it seriously needs to be examined, right?
I absolutely think it does.
It's an area of this game that I was just having this conversation today with Mike Watts, another announcer that you and I get to share time with sometimes. And we were talking about how we've been hit pretty hard, and he played football as a youngster. That's a whole nother conversation. But, there are times where we have these gaps, and I can honestly say that it is because of the concussions that I've received. I mean, I've been walking across my house thinking about something, stopped in my tracks and gone, I have no idea what I was just doing.
Yeah.
And it's sad to say, but there are guys well past where I'm at that are much worse off. And I only had 4 or 5.
Only.
But when you stretch that over a youth career into your professional career, 5 doesn't seem that much when you're looking at 25, 30 years, right?
Yes. Definitely a lot to consider with that rule, and there's been a lot of talk about it. We'll see what happens in the future, but Ryan James, in the meantime, he did come back on. Maybe something opening up here for Velarde, who just came on. Couldn't squeeze through those white jerseys. Forbes goes to ground, keeps possession. And now here comes Philly. Jasinski's been very active since coming on, and looks like he's the one to commit the foul in the end. Still hear Bob Lilly yelling out instructions. A half hour left to go. We'll see if Pittsburgh can get closer to that 6-0 result they got against Philly just a couple of weeks ago.
I actually like this little movement we've seen out of Union 2 on their back line, a little pin the tail on the defender, if you will. Sorensen, the substitute, goes to left back. Huckabee tucks himself inside next to Ofemu, and they send your other alternate use of Jack Jasinski out to the right back position. Feels like they look a bit more comfortable, at least for now. And that's nothing against Jamoy Topi. He's a veteran when it comes to this squad. They've also dropped one extra player down into the midfield, and they're allowing some of the rotation they were lacking in the first game, Josh, to start to take place here. So Selmer Miscic is still playing the high line up top, but you're seeing a lot of movement out of Paxton Aronson. Robinson starting to get much more involved in the game. As technical as these players are, just like right now, you got to have the ball at their feet. Get it moving.
Well, something that Sven Gartung told us last week was the U17 team, which a lot of these players played in previously, they run more of a 4-4-2, but Sven Gartung likes to run a 4-2-2-2. Just a bit of a different shape, and some adjustments need to be made, and it might have caused some of the mistakes early on in this match and in previous, but different shape here for Union 2.
And the way that they stack themselves in that reference of the 2-2-2, you're asking a lot out of your attacking midfielders in Picasso and Jack McGlynn, the way that they started. Now, the shape is starting to evolve differently now, but they have to know in this system when to stretch themselves out wide, when they have the ability to step into that space that's not being occupied by the likes of your 2 strikers up top. And then defensively, they got to help out as well. And the quote that really took me was a conversation between former head coach Brendan Burke and sporting director Ernst Tanner. And they said, it is one of the most difficult formations and philosophies to get right. When we get it right, nobody can touch us. And I would agree with that. The problem is when you get it wrong, things are all out of sorts. And you can really see that taking shape on the pitch tonight.
And no better time to try all that out than with a very young team that I'm sure is eager and hungry to learn. A little bit too heavy there for Dover. Don't miss a minute of action in 2020. Sign up today and get alerts all year long by following your club on ESPN.com. Search for your club and then click the follow button to keep up with the latest news and scores. Plus, get reminders on your team's next match. Go to ESPN.com now and click follow for your club. Part of the fun here at Highmark Stadium, the train that passes by every now and then. Dos Santos, it was Butler coming off his line, a big collision as Dos Santos goes down. It's out for a corner kick. Big number 10 is still on his back on the turf.
This is some good confidence out of the youngster, Mitch Butler, coming off his line. First half seemed a bit out of sorts, coming 15 yards from goal, all the way on the outside of the 18 this time around. That's a big body in Steven Dos Santos. Well done as a goalkeeper to come hard, and to put him down on the ground, that is not an easy feat.
Mitch Butler out of Lincoln, Nebraska. Not afraid of the contact, and going for goal, it's James. On the volley, makes it 4, and the defender gets on the score sheet tonight.
Time almost stands still on this volley for Ryan James. That beautiful left foot of his that is usually accustomed to being the distributor. As this rotates back out to the top of the 18. Watch this thing just set up so nicely. Quick little flick to the back, and love what Velarde does. Just puts it back into the mixer. Understands he's got some big tall heads that can run up underneath it. Space not closed down by Rabadon quick enough, and they actually shy away from this. Do not turn your back in this situation, because seasoned veterans like Ryan James will stick it into the back of the net oh so easily, and how sweet it is for their 4th of the night.
The Canadian gets on the score sheet tonight. They make it 4-0. Everything going Pittsburgh's way here at Highmark Stadium tonight. A couple of more subs coming on. Looks like Steve Kingay is coming on. It's Patrick Bowie as well who comes on. Kingay and Bowie come on for Philadelphia here for the final 25 or so minutes. Axel Picasso was one of the players who did come off for Philly, and that is all 5 subs who have been used for Sven Gartung tonight. Which means the only player left on the bench tonight who will not be able to enter is Ben Martino. David Rabadon was also one of the ones sacrificed.
Just keep an eye on Patrick Bowie. He can fly. A lot of pace from the Ivorian. Actually the youngest player to ever appear for this organization. 15 years, 3 months, and 13 days at the time. And watch him just play a bit higher. I would imagine they're going to push him further up top. Selmer Miscic should probably drop down in to the midfield a bit more, asking him to provide a bit more link-up play than we saw out of him instead of being the focal point up top.
Looks like a couple more subs about to come on for the Riverhounds. Mark Forrest and Dakota Barnathan will enter, and the goal scorers and the assists man also will come off. So Forrest and Barnathan on. It's Dos Santos and Forbes off, and really could have asked for a whole lot more from those two tonight.
Canardo Forbes can officially breathe a sigh of relief as he now sits atop the perch. As we mentioned, USL Championship all-time assist leader. First one to that man, Steven Dos Santos, in the 22nd minute. Second one would find Vanky Azil from the corner that was whipped in beautifully to the back post. Just 14 minutes later, of course, Dos Santos would grab his brace. Job well done by those boys this evening.
Forrest from Douglasville, Pennsylvania, went to Lehigh. Go to Barnathan, the VCU Rams, spent last year with Ottawa Fury. Griffin, it's cut off. Kinge gets it wide. Coming up for Philly, it's another short week for already a team that is really beat up through injuries. They'll be at home against New York Red Bulls too. And they'll play Hartford next Sunday as well. When we talk with Sven Gartung, he's always saying we just don't have enough time to implement everything that we need to talk about and get these guys healthy and fit, up to speed. It's just been a tough start to the season for Union 2. At the same time, he's in constant communication with Ernst Tanner and Jim Curtin about what they want to see out of these players. Sometimes it's a tough sell when you're going back home as a 16-year-old, 17-year-old saying, yeah, we just lost 4-0, but you got to look at the bigger picture if you're Philly, of course.
The experience that they're gaining is invaluable. I mean, you cannot put a price on this right now. And the growing pains are going to be regular, frustrating as well, whether it be from a front office standpoint, the coaches on the sideline, and then the players. There's a fine line between gaining experience, making sure it's competitive, and also making sure that you don't break their confidence as well. And they understand that. And you mentioned some of the players before, McKenzie, Austin Trusty, Brendan Aronson, of course. But they feel like they've found a formula. And I would agree with it. You are seeing that push up through the ranks. And the guys who have found success through the YSC system, moving up to Philadelphia Union, you hear the stories and the pride that they talk about, where when they go back, whether it be for a training session with Philadelphia Union, possibly doing some stuff with some of the younger kids, they take such pride in having the opportunity to go back, and then the youngsters are looking at glorified kings in their eyes with the opportunity to shed an appearance with them. So it's something that really they try to work from top all the way down and give everybody opportunity to succeed. By the way, I feel like I'm watching a ghost watching Paxton Aronson run. He looks just like his brother. It's not just the physical attributes. He carries himself the same. if you watch him when he receives the ball, he's got this nice little shoulder drop, and every
Right
now and
into
then
the
he
book.
picks up a card just like that too. His brother's capable of it, yapping his mouth a little bit, why not? But they do so many things in such a similar way.
That same floppy hair as well.
Yeah. Who's the barber?
Here's McGlynn. Jasinski. This one sent straight up into the air. James was there. Okay, Azil. Here's Kingay. As Bowie went down. So we'll go all the way back to Mitch Butler in goal.
There is a little contact at the top of the 18 there, Josh, and maybe a bit unfortunate. There isn't a whistle. There is a touch of ball. How about this ball?
Really, really nice. Just a little bit too far and too close, you could say, to Gomez as well.
Nice vision, though. Quick little turn, 40 yards up over the top. Those are the glimpses that you tend to get out of these players. And that was Paxton Aronson, who we were just talking about. Vision of his brother on full display, and MLS is back, not just for the whole tournament, but the other night.
He had a silky
Brilliant.
assist.
Yeah, he's pretty impressive to watch. And just continue on. You know, it's little moments like that even though you're down 4-0, pick your head up, keep playing. Don't stop. Continue to apply the pressure, everything that you work on the training ground, because you're being graded right now. It's not just the points and the performances and what's going on in the group play. It's how do you fit into the system, your ability to judge these situations. Can you stand out as an individual? Can you work together within your respective unit? I mean, rotating 5 guys, that's a lot. That messes with team chemistry. And yet you're probably seeing better play right now than you did in the opening 45 minutes. Now it's also easy because the Riverhounds have the luxury of sitting back. But still, good on them for not putting their heads down and withering away into the night.
Well, similar to last week as this ball is played through and the flag will go up. Mark Forrest just drifting a little bit too far. Looks like we're going to get a hydration break here in the second half with 15 minutes to go plus stoppage time. It's been all Pittsburgh so far tonight. 4-0 advantage. Dos Santos 2 goals. That man right there. NK Azil with the goal as well. Ryan James got the 4th here in this second half. Going all the way back to the first half. 22nd minute. This was a really good build-up as well.
They've done well in general. I think there was a couple breakdowns for Philadelphia Union too where they got themselves into trouble, but you still have to execute if you're the Riverhounds. It's a beautiful ball lifted to the back post, and the weight had to be just right for Canardo Forbes. They continued, and you said it. You said, trust me, they are going to continue to go right now. I agreed with you. A lot of pressure coming in that direction, and the misfortune on the communication of the back line between Mitch Butler and his 2 center backs, Jamoy Topi being the one here. Little Dante Huckabee could do at that point in time, as it's easy for Dos Santos to stick it in for his 2nd of the night. And then Ryan James. Love to see the boys in the back line get some love. Van Kiesel in the 36th, Ryan James in the 65th. How about this volley from their outside back?
Really, really nice. Really, all 4 goals have been well taken from Pittsburgh. And going back to that Dos Santos goal, the 2nd one, that was first time outside of the boot. Perfect. Right down the middle. That is clinical from Pittsburgh's number 10. And as we've said, they've never lost, they've never tied, they've only won when Dos Santos has scored. They're 11-0-0, and it looks like it's going to be 12-0-0 here in about 13 minutes plus stoppage time. And Bob Lilly will be telling his team to hold on to that clean sheet.
Good look at Robbie Mertz a second ago. I do have some unfortunate news that he is human. and he did end up giving the ball away. We'll get to that in a second, as looks like a bit of inclement weather has ventured into the area.
You heard the big boom. That was thunder. And let's see what they're going to do here. It looks like we are going to enter a weather delay. Well, we knew there was weather coming into the Pittsburgh area tonight. And the rain is continuing to fall. So with lightning in the area, it's at least a 30-minute delay, and then it's 30 minutes for every lightning strike thereafter as well. So we will enter this weather delay. We're late in this match. It's Pittsburgh 4, it's Philadelphia 0. We're in a weather delay here at Highmark Stadium in Pittsburgh. Well, we see players back on the field, and we are going to get underway for the final 12 minutes and 21 seconds plus stoppage time. It's 4-0 to Pittsburgh as they lead Philadelphia Union 2. Josh Eastern back with Devin Kerr. Lucas Fernandez will come on. He's making his 5th appearance of the season. And he replaces Robbie Mertz after that 30-minute lightning delay. There was an offside call right before the hydration break, so that's where we'll pick things up, and we're back underway. It's been all Pittsburgh Riverhounds so far, 4-0. They've really controlled this match from the get-go. And these last 12 or so minutes will just be to complete this match, unless Philadelphia can pull off something improbable. As we said before, Bob Lilly would love to get that clean sheet here tonight. Get into a wide position, deflected cross. It's knocked out. It will be a corner kick for Philly Union 2. An in-swinger from that far side. Right into the middle. Kingay got the header on it. It was right at Gomez in goal. Pretty easy save for the experienced keeper.
He does well to move in traffic here, Steve Kingay. Little redirect, upper corner, but once again, Tomas Gomez, no problem collecting and being the ever steady to anchor this entire Riverhounds defensive-minded unit. The offensive explosion has become much more regular for Bob Lilly's squads.
Towards the back post again. Kingay trying to help it along. Jack McGlynn. Clip it back towards the top of the box. Player goes down. Kingay on the shot. That was Bowie who was there and is still down at the top of the box. Now getting back to his feet. But meanwhile, it's Pittsburgh coming back the other way, and Fernandez just couldn't get it out from underneath his feet.
Patrick Bowie took a heck of a shot right at the top of the 18. A bit smaller in stature than most of the boys on the back line for the Riverhounds.
They're playing in behind again. Gomez flying off his line. Here's McGlynn. Seems like we've called his name a lot tonight. He always seems to be around the ball.
This is a great opportunity, Josh, for some of the boys on the Riverhounds, as that's one of the better foul throws we've seen. Not that you ever see him at the professional level in this day and age, but it's an opportunity for guys like Mark Forrest from the Riverhounds. I'm surprised they didn't bring this back to the sideline.
Usually a foul throw should be another throw-in. All right, here we go.
But a guy who, you know, coming out of Lehigh, Patriot League, Offensive Player of the Year, actually led Division I, was 3rd in scoring, and dropped 15 goals in a season back in 2018. So obviously the ability to be an attacking threat. And it's difficult as a striker when you don't have regular appearances to then all of a sudden be thrust into the limelight and asked to supplement. That's a hard ask. So these are those small opportunities where when you're not getting the regular reps, you're not in the 11, not necessarily even making all the 18s, got to find a way to prove yourself in training so that when you do get those 10 minutes to shine, you go stick one in the back of the net here, or at least perform well. So when there's an injury or you're up against it, you're on the road, you're at your Indy 11s, you're looking for that late game heroics, you can go to your bench and look for guys like Mark Forrest to help out.
When you're a striker that doesn't play a whole lot, there's one column that can get you back onto the field for regular minutes, and that's scoring goals. Rovira wins a throw-in. We were talking before the match about what shape we might see from the Pittsburgh side. We thought it would be 3 at the back. We thought maybe they could shift to a 4-back at times, but it seems like they've been pretty much set with that 3-back system tonight.
There's a fluctuation, though. You know, it started with a flat 4. They ended up moving Jordan Dover up into the midfield to make it 3, and that's one of the great things about this. You have a lot of coaches that'll talk to you, Josh, and they'll say, you know, we don't believe in one formation, or, you know, we don't really have a set philosophy. Number one, you're lying. Number two, if you don't, you're usually in trouble because there has to be a blueprint for success. You have to have something to give these players and say, okay, we may start here, but the finished product could look totally different. And that's what you get out of Bob Lilly's Riverhounds team. Always willing to challenge themselves, occupy different space than maybe they were previously in. And you're seeing that on full display tonight, regardless of the opposition, because we saw it against Red Bull 2, we saw it against Indy. Yes, some of the results were different, but they were still the benefactors of an overall better performance in those matches, just lacking a little bit when it came to balls in the back of the net. You get it tonight, and now you have two real heavy opponents right around the corner in the likes of Indy and Red Bull 2 before the schedule lessens up a bit.
On Indy dropping points tonight at home to SKC 2. So that's probably one of the better weeks for SKC 2 in their club history, going on the road to Indy and Louisville and getting 6 points. Really, really impressive for Sporting Kansas City 2, and that group now becomes really interesting.
Much more fun to kind of peek, right? You're table watching a bit more. How about North Carolina FC? They defeated Birmingham Legion, a 10-man squad, I might add, as Nakanyoti goes down in the 30th, I believe it was.
Somewhere around there.
Got thrown off, and so, you know, difficult to combat. Still a good start for Birmingham Legion, but now more work to be done in a group that you kind of go, okay, North Carolina, Birmingham, no problem. NCFC asserting their dominance a little bit there. All the West games kicking off and getting things going. Colorado Springs get an equalizer. They're knotted up with the Monarchs. New Mexico United out in front by 2 again. Seems to be a regular scoreline for them recently.
They have a big matchup next week at Phoenix, New Mexico United. That's kind of the fun of this shortened season, just 16 games. We're already at the quarter mark of the season, if you can believe that.
Look at Indy. Indy 11's played 7 games already.
Yeah, they're almost halfway done.
It's absurd to think. I do think it gives fans a bit more of an opportunity to bridge the gap between East and West. A lot of times you don't necessarily see as many people paying attention to what's going on in the other conferences. And I'm not saying it's happening all over, but I do notice more engagement on social media. Fans kind of looking around going, okay, you know, Phoenix fans looking at maybe Indy a bit more, OKC fans looking at your Pittsburghs a bit more. It's something that a lot of people, myself included, feel that USL Championship lacks, is that understanding of what's going on in cross-conference battles. How about you? You have a, from what you've seen, you and I see a lot of teams, a lot of games. Anybody maybe put a wink in your eye so far? Their level of performance, what you've seen?
In this game or across the league?
No, across the league since the restart. You know, some teams have 2 games under their belt. Some games have, you know, played 5.
It's going to be maybe kind of a cop-out answer here, but I really like Indy so far. I know they lost tonight. Tyler Patcher up top. Sorry to bring that up for Pittsburgh fans, but I really like what Martin Reddy has going there in Indy. It seems like they've been so close, but of course their rival just down south has kind of taken that glory from them the past couple of years. But this might be their year. As a shot comes on, it goes just wide. Gomez saw that all the way. But of course, Phoenix out west. I know a tough couple of results, but tonight a chance against El Paso. Get back on the winning track. I know Birmingham is also an intriguing team out there. One of those newer teams to the league.
Ooh, watch here. This is late. Watch out.
Immediate yellow card to Flores.
This is a rough challenge on Danny Griffin. Extended the entire way, coming in with heavy force. As their midfielder trying to move into the offensive third. Watch this tackle. I mean, just trying to usher it up a little bit. Little redirect. That'll leave a mark. To be honest, he's lucky he only catches the instep. His foot's turned a little bit. You cut the top of your foot. Not end up so well.
You never want to see those type of challenges, but especially this late in the match and with the scoreline what it is. But Aronson. The rematch between Pittsburgh and Indy at Lucas Oil on Saturday the 15th. That's going to be a really tasty fixture, and I'm sure Pittsburgh wants some sort of revenge on Indy 11. Long run for Fernandez. Fabian was there. Here's Kingay. And a chance for Pittsburgh to run. Here's Fernandez. One-on-one. Fernandez. It's a good challenge in the end. And this will trickle out for a corner kick. Dante Huckabee back defending.
It's pretty close by Lucas Fernandez. Hard to tell if he was in his own half or not when this ball is played. Just skirts the back line. Travel over the center circle and he's off to the races.
Swung in towards the penalty spot and quickly headed away. Be 3 minutes of stoppage time here at the end of this 90 minutes. A delayed finish of this one with the lightning delay sandwiched in there in the 78th minute. Here's Aronson. Oh, right through the legs. The younger Aronson showing off here late tonight in Pittsburgh. Pretty good genes there in the blood. Long throw-in.
That's a mistake by Ofemu. He knows it. He's much better than what was just on display. It's one of the ones where he starts to step out from the back line, know that he's got to be clean with the ball. First touch gets the way, and then you're just chasing a runaway train.
Pittsburgh, this will take them up to 9 points. Philadelphia will stay at the bottom of Group F. Rivera. look back on this night, you have to say it's a pretty complete performance from Pittsburgh. Should they hold on to this clean sheet in the last 30 or so seconds. After two really tough losses deep into stoppage time, Pittsburgh getting back on the winning track. They don't lose a whole lot during the regular season. They don't lose 3 games ever in a row. They're looking to add on here at the end. They'll loosen the box, and Philly will come away with it. For Union 2, they'll go back home for a match with New York Red Bulls 2 on Wednesday. Now just waiting for the final whistle. We're through the minimum of 3 minutes. Oof. Challenges coming in right towards the end. Like Rivera stayed on side. The flag comes up late.
Nasty little challenge on Benny Flores. And it looked like almost immediately in an offside position. Referee going to allow the boys to play a bit further, and yeah, you can see he picked something up there.
As we've talked about, Philadelphia does not need more injuries. Almost all of their experienced players are on the mend, but for tonight, it's all Riverhounds. A 4-0 win for Bob Lilly, back on the winning track, 3 more points, and it moves them for the moment to the top of Group F. And it was a record-breaking night tonight in Pittsburgh. You have to say an overall pretty good performance here from the Riverhounds.
Yeah, pretty well done, and most importantly, they kept the 0. Bob Lilly going to be really happy about that. Recipient of some quality attacks on the other side. Thought the imagination was a bit more ever-present than what we've seen in previous matchups. Of course, lacking goals against Indy and Red Bull 2. But backline were always there, answering the questions asked of them, including their goalkeeper, Tomas Gomez.
And tonight's man of the match, who else but Canardo Forbes, the new assist king. Canardo Forbes is tonight's man of the match, presented by Jack Daniels. So that is going to do it. We'll come back and wrap things up here from Pittsburgh in just a moment with highlights, but for now it finishes Pittsburgh 4, Philadelphia 0. We'll be back to wrap things up from Highmark Stadium right after this.
Hey, Gus.
Hey, Nikki.
So what's the scoop?
Scoop? Who can pick just one scoop?
Well, I'd say that one's mint for me.
Sweet choice. Just like this.
The newest scratch-off from the Pennsylvania Lottery.
Yep. It's $1 million extreme cash.
Wow. With top prizes of $1 million.
You can't top that.
Well, maybe with sprinkles.
Keep on scratching.
Explore a world of music on WQED.
Explore sweater sessions on WQED.
Explore educational opportunities.
Explore science.
Explore early childhood learning.
Explore Nevi on WQED.
Explore the power of the arts.
Explore Pittsburgh Eats.
Explore diversity on WQED.
Pleasant Valley Golf Club, nestled in the Laurel Highlands of southwestern Pennsylvania, is now open to the public. Enjoy 18 holes of championship golf with a new island green and fully stocked pro shop. Our clubhouse features a large ballroom for weddings or private parties, 2 restaurants serving delicious food, a sports bar, 2 state-of-the-art golf simulators, and an outdoor patio with gas fire pit and picturesque view. Pleasant Valley Golf Club, now open to the public.
Wrapping things up from a beautiful night. Well, it was a beautiful night until the rain and lightning came in here in Pittsburgh. But 4-0 to Pittsburgh Riverhounds tonight. Let's take a look at tonight's save of the game, brought to you by AHN. And there wasn't a whole lot for Tomas Gomez to do. But there was that shot there at the end by Sorensen, and he you talked about a very experienced keeper.
Quick little step up, and I'll tell you what, when you take a look at his resume, you look at a first-round draft pick all the way back in 2015, his All-Big East at Georgetown, which seems like eons ago, but of course the Golden Gloves most recently for Bob Lilly of the Rochester Rhinos. What he is lacking is a championship, and this squad is built around success on both sides of the ball. They got it going early. They started knocking the ball around nicely. 22 minutes in, they finally pay their dividends. Watch this ball, little turnover. Watch the ball down into the corner. Love it teasing, and just easy vision on Kenardo Forbes. As clear as Evian. Beautiful ball back across. Steven Dos Santos back of the net. Pittsburgh out in front 1-0.
So that was the first goal of the night, and that was the record-tying assist. And a set piece for Forbes, and that's just a beautiful ball in for the record.
36th minute, 37th assist. Banquizio gets the second of the night. They were not done, though. Let's put the pedal to the metal. Dos Santos again. Yeah, this is a really poor mistake playing out of the back by Philadelphia Union 2. Got to be better communication by the goalkeeper. This still takes some special finishing skills by Dos Santos. Look at the flick of the wrist. Back of the net. 3-0. They would add insult to injury in the 65th. It would be a beauty, though. Ryan James, normally employed on the back line in his overlapping runs. Quality finish. Watch the technique. Doesn't overpower it. You kids at home, get your foot up over the top of the ball. Look at the knee. Upper corner, 4-0, 3 points, sitting atop the group.
And look at the full-time stats. There were a few shots on target there at the end of the match for Philadelphia Union 2, but in the end, it was all Pittsburgh all the time.
Gained a bit more confidence for the youngsters, and you know, that's something for them to build upon. Neither one of these teams have a boatload of time to waste. Midweek for Philadelphia Union 2, Pittsburgh Riverhounds. They actually get a couple days off in terms of a normal week. Normal in 2020 is all new to everybody else, but good job by Bob Lilly's team. They've run some of the gamut, but their next 2 matches could determine their fate for the finishing touches on Group F.
It's going to be really interesting. Right now, they're at the top of Group F, but of course, Hartford play tomorrow. So that's going to do it tonight from Pittsburgh. It was all Riverhounds pretty much right from the get-go. Kenardo Forbes is now the assist king in the USL Championship, and 3 more points for the Riverhounds. For our entire crew and broadcast partner Devin Kerr, I'm Josh Eastern saying so long from Pittsburgh, where it finishes Pittsburgh 4, Philly 0.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.